Hey everyone, Ryan here at eTrailer. Today on our 2019 Ram 1500, we're going to be showing you how to install the Pollak 6-way round trailer connector plug. But before we do that, let's just take a minute, check this out, and make sure it's going to work for you. So with these 6-way round plugs, it's going to be a great replacement to your existing one, or even, the original one that you're going to start out with. So if your tow bar wiring kit didn't come included with one of these, you can always use the Pollak here, get it hooked up and get all your signals sent back to your taillights. This connector, it's right on par with a lot of the other ones out there, and being that 6-way round connection, this is going to be by far the most common type of connector plug when it comes to setting up a flat tow, pulling your Ram behind your motorhome. And if you end up using the 6-way round, this is the type of connector end you'd want on the wiring side of things. This particular one is Kurt coiled cable. There's a ton of them out there. You got Blue Ox ones, Roadmaster ones, Demco ones, so on and so forth. So extremely common in the flat towing world there. And you can plug that right in. The bottom of the cap, since it is spring loaded, it's got to have a little catch on it there, which you see in just about all these type of connectors. That way when it's sitting down and you're plugged in, you can't accidentally disconnect this. Now the body of this is made from plastic, so it's good and bad, I guess you could say, really, because you're not going to have to worry about corrosion issues or anything along those lines. But if you're always on really rough roads, or take your truck through off-roading or anything like that, might run into issues with this cracking or anything. But if that's something you're concerned with, there's a lot of these that are available that are built from metal as well, so always something you could look into. Figured we take a quick look at the back of the plug just to kind of show you what's going on. And really not a whole lot to these. As far as this one goes, one of the things that I like about it is that the terminals are going to be brass, which compared to a lot of the other ones, they're made from a different material. And it seems like this brass tends to hold up against corrosion and stuff a little bit better over the years, but that's just my experience. And something I noticed too, so this one I'm holding to compare it to is made by Blue Ox. Very, very similar, just the small differences. Something I noticed too, that on the Pollak one, the set screws are thicker in diameter compared to a lot of the other ones, which are pretty thin. So in my opinion, having that thicker set screw is going to do a better job of kind of biting down onto that wire and keeping that connection good. Speaking of the connection though, why don't we go ahead and show you how to get this hooked up. We have all the wires ran for our diode wiring kit, as well as our battery charge line kit. That's what all these are right here. And first thing that we'll do, we'll take the rubber dust cover that comes with our plug, put that over the bare end of the wires. I'm just going to kind of tuck that out of the way. And you're going to want to strip all those wires back. So the way you would do that, just remove a little bit of the insulation, and you want to give those wires a good twist. Make sure they're nice and tight. And then from there, it's just hooking up the plug. So if you look at the plug, they're going to have labels on them. So TM would be taillight signal, so our brown diode wire will go there. GD for ground, so the white diode wire goes there. LT is left turn, yellow wire plugs into that. RT is right turn, so the green wire goes there. And then for our charge line, we're going to plug that into the center auxiliary power post. And so the way these will work is you just back that set screw out almost all the way, and you take the appropriate wire, try to make sure none of the wires get kind of pushed up here. take that, place it into the terminal. Kind of hold it in there tight. And snug down that set screw. We'll do the same thing for our remaining wires here. Here's what the connector looks like once all of our wires are hooked up. And as far as that last remaining terminal goes, that is very rarely used. From my experience, I only use that if I'm setting up a Roadmaster InvisiBrake braking system and utilize this circuit to run our indicator light to the inside of our motorhome. But that's kind of a specific situation. But with all these done, we're going to get all of our lighting signals and our charge line, the power going up to our battery. So for the time being here, one thing I like to do is apply silicone to all the terminals. That way it'll seal up real nice and prevent corrosion. But I like to do that at the very end once everything is tested and we know it works. That way if we have to come back in here and mess with anything, we don't have a big mess to deal with. So go ahead and put the dust cover on there, and then we can get this secured. Quick pointer too, when you secure this to your base plate, if you apply some anti-seize to the threads of the screws, if you ever do have to take this apart, a year or two down the road, it'll prevent any rust issues and let you get the screws out easily. As long as you have the rest of your wiring hooked up, your diode wiring actually plugged into your taillights and everything like that, we can test it to make sure that our connections are good up here. So I have a test box which is simulating a motorhome. For those of you at home, you can always use your coach, but keep in mind if that has any electrical issues on its side, it might mislead you. And I'm thinking it's something you did on the truck side. So we'll go ahead and run through our signals. We'll turn on our taillight signal, our left turn, our right turn, and our brakes. Now that we verified this works, we are in good shape. So with that done, that'll finish up our look at and our installation of the Pollak 6-way round trailer connector socket on our 2019 Ram 1500.